Hello and welcome to Orbiting Brick, and today's video is something I've somehow never done before. This is a single stage to orbit spaceplane. Yeah, somehow I've never done one before, but that changes today. So we have an interesting looking aircraft that has, first of all, far too many vertical stabilizers, and second, forward swept wings, purely because I felt like doing those. But yes, this actually is an SSTO. And you can see we're using some fancy engines. They are from a near future Nox. I believe the name would be pronounced Scimitar or something like that, named after a sword like every other cool hybrid engine, which that's going off a sample size of one other engine. I say at least it keeps the theme. And now we're already having takeoff, and now, whilst it is an SSTO, it's not a practical SSTO, and this is a 2.5 times scale Kerbal. Just practical SSTOs do not exist. And yeah, all it can do is get just, I believe, 1 ton of payload to orbit. That's, well, that was with very little equipment on it, not even solar panels or stuff like that. So yeah, the payload it's actually taking is probably lower than that, but I didn't actually check. As you can see, we're lifting off from the runway, and something I want to note, these engines are so powerful that for that entire takeoff I had the brakes engaged. That was not intentional, and I was actually a bit concerned as to why the aircraft wasn't pitching up as I was holding down S. But yeah, we have, we're very rapidly leaving the ground. We're moving just very quickly, we're already supersonic. And these engines, much like the stock Reentries, get increased thrust above 440 meters per second, around that mark. And so yeah, no, we are already going pretty quickly this far into flight, thanks to this footage up on a launch. Yeah, I believe I have already switched to move into Tier 2 cycle mode. We started off by using atmospheric air for the oxidizer in the engines, and now we're using onboard oxidizer. And so we're already playing our circularization maneuver. And we're going to time warp up to that fairly quickly. So I was talking about IVA mods before, and something I want to say here is, first of all, yeah, you can see I've got a mix of IVAs here. Firstly, you saw the stock, well, I guess that's really one word to use, but the base IVA with Airplane Plus, and then the fancy just mission control IVA from a probe control room. I think it's an interesting mod, and you saw me messing around with the various screens there. Not sure where I was going with that tangent, but just, yeah, I have that and we'll make use of that in the near future. So we've inserted into orbit. Now it's time to deploy the various systems of the craft, and to also deploy the payload. And you can see those solar panels unfurling, and the payload being just revealed. It's this, Rainier Aperture. At least that's how I think you pronounce the name, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a small probe designed to go to one of the other moons of Suna. Because, I didn't say this earlier, I'm also using the New Horizons planet pack, which makes Kerbal a moon of a gas giant, and that gas giant has some other moons, including the Restock moon, as well as other special bodies as well. And one of them is Aperture. Again, might be pronouncing that incorrectly. And this small probe is intended to go to said moon. You can see it partially deployed, its solar panels, solar panels moved. And okay, so I was going based off of what a Kerbal Transfer Window Planner told me to bring in terms of Delta V. However, I have no idea if this, I think this mod breaks Kerbal Transfer Window Planner. Because it said I would only need 97 meters per second to Delta V to circularize at Aperture. I needed about 1000 in actuality, and was in fact unable to circularize. And using this carbon escape burn is it's significantly more than what the transferring duplicator told me to use. Not sure what's really up with that. But yeah, we are now burning to escape carbon. This craft is using a singular ant engine. It's a very small probe, so I decided to use a small engine, and it's covered in scientific experiments, some batteries, and that weird piece of equipment on the bottom of your screen, this bottom of the probe relative to perspective, is actually some reaction wheels from Blue Dog Design Bureau. And so now our probe is well on its way escaping carbon. However, we still have the space plane and its pilot, Valentina Kerman, still on orbit, and it probably shouldn't leave the craft just on orbit for the several weeks it'll take the probe to get to Apture. So I guess let's bring it back home now. Now we have a very limited delta V to use, just 172 meters per second. However, in testing, I've determined that this is enough for just deorbiting and reentry. So after using the trajectory as a mod, I'm able to plot out a reentry that should take us right over the Kerbal Space Center, so I can hopefully actually land on a runway for once in one of my spaceplane videos. So we deorbit using again the engines from just near future aeronautics. I already gave up on trying to pronounce them again. Yeah, we slightly underburned there. And yeah, we're currently at the very much incorrect attitude. And in fact, we're going to be mostly, I believe, upside down by the time we reach atmospheric interface, which is not good. However, as you'll see pretty soon, we will be able to correct our orientation, and we'll be able to have some control during reentry. As you can see, we're not very aligned there, but that does sort itself out. And so now we have some nice plasma from just the Firefly mod, as well as a plasma trail from reentry particle effects renewed. That might be what the mod is called. I'm not exactly sure. I'll probably put the correct name in the description. Yeah, people don't recommend using it with Firefly, even though I think it actually does look very nice with the more substantial trail behind the spacecraft. But yeah, due to the specifics of this craft, its aerodynamics, and our reentry profile, we'll actually skip briefly off the atmosphere, and we're actually currently ascending. We'll do a few more of these just skips later on in the descent. I guess not even descent now, just partially ascent. Just atmospheric maneuvers, I guess. Yeah, we now start to approach the Kerbal Space Center, where you can see the waypoint distance. And at this point, our electric charge runs out, and everything goes very badly, very quick. We're doing some unplanned maneuvers. Oh, this footage is still sped up, I believe, by 4 times. And one of our control surfaces randomly decided to start going the opposite direction. We are pointing downwards most of the time. However, we will be able to recover, and I'll actually turn the engines on. And we'll be able to resume our trajectory toward the Space Center. And now, this landing, it's gonna be something. And this was the best of multiple attempts. I guess I didn't test this plane thoroughly, or maybe I'm just that bad of a pilot, or maybe it's all of those factors. It very well could be all of those factors. Yeah, we're coming down very quickly, and okay, so there's gonna be some explosions, spoiler, but I decided not to edit out the freeze frames. Yes, I can better commentate on what I was feeling at the time. So already, we lost the landing gear and an engine, and now a wing. I am convinced the entire craft is about to explode and kill the pilot, which would be very bad. The cockpit has just separated from the main fuselage. At this point, I've decided that, yeah, Valentina needs to bail from this. And yeah, this ends up happening. The cockpit does survive. And in fact, the pilot also does survive. Yeah, look, the pilot is very clearly walking away from part of the wreckage, so clearly this counts as a good landing. So now, fairly soon, we can return back to our probe on orbit. Also, yeah, I don't think it's really good to just lose 3/4 of your engines during landing, not just to lose a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, we return to our probe, which has been far more successful and has not exploded during its 26-day flight. And we do yet another course adjustment to bring us on course for our Apshire encounter. As I said before, like something's up with the time in this mod pack, not sure why that is. Yes, we now approach Apshire and find the parallax configs have been utterly broken. It's supposed to be a dark brownish, similar to a stock ghillie slash body. It's instead this color. Now, also I'm using a Neptune camera, so here's some nice shots from earlier in the mission of this celestial body. But yeah, it's a strange find. You find the train is a wildly different color than expected. So we can fast forward to a point where the train looks a far more reasonable color. And so yeah, the main focus of this was the SSTO. Probe was really just an afterthought, and working parallax configs were apparently an even more afterthought. I hope you enjoyed. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and goodbye.